Chad, some weeks you're the dog, the other weeks you're the tree. What's that smell?
L's, but speak for yourself. I had a pretty good week. Week 6 coming up for the Sure Shot.
Welcome to Sure Shot, your holiday stimulus package, unless you have a rough week like your boy did. I'm Mark Gray.
And I'm Chad Morton, and as I said in the tease, speak for yourself, man. 3-1. And I did warn my viewers on my one loss. Yeah. Please check the comments after our picks. 4 injuries on the starting offensive line for New England. Check the comments. You could have stayed away from that one and just got the 3 W's.
That's right. So remember, we are all over the place in cyberspace, so make sure you check at the very last minute each and every week. And by all means, take the link, ship it around. All your folks can get down. Now, let's go into some phenomenal performances that marked week number 5 in the National Football League. And no place other than Monday night, where the greatness of Lamar Jackson and the legend continued to grow. Carson Wentz is cursed.
Well, cursed. I'd say he put on a good performance.
But he still lost.
Yeah, he took an L, but he took some steps back to show that he belongs in this league. Because a lot of people were questioning, is he still even going to be in this league in another year or two after such an incredible rookie season?
Yeah, I understand that, people were questioning whether or not he was healthy enough to play. But the bottom line is the bad breaks. I mean, what more does he have to do to get a W? I mean, he put his team in position to win the game. Yeah. They got a field goal kicker who was hitting field goals the way I hit tee shots, man. He was wide right. He was shanking, and they really didn't get beat. I'd have to say that with all due respect to the Ravens, it was the Colts who lost the game as much as the Ravens won it.
I don't know about that. 442 yards passing, 50 yards rushing. The incredible legend of Lamar Jackson continues to grow. He's even got his own nickname now. Did you hear about it?
I did not.
Action Jackson.
Oh, well, I mean.
Remember that movie back in the day?
Yeah, you can do that back in the day.
It's a good movie. They should have kept
Was that Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
I was told I looked like a young Carl Weathers by a lady. And she said from Rocky 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. That's how you know she wasn't lying.
I don't even know where to go with that one, Apollo.
Anyway, we digress. Back at the football.
Anyway, so that was an outstanding game. I'm going to tell you what else was a great contest. The Chargers and the Browns last week.
Incredible game.
Baker Mayfield, same point. I mean, what more must Baker do? He's the scorn of everybody on Scream TV in the mornings. All he does is put his team in position to win the game. They had a chance to win the football game with a Hail Mary shot. Questionable whether or not that was a pass interference penalty at the end of the game. But more and more I look at Cleveland, and we're at week 5. I see them trending upward.
You see them trending upward?
Yeah, I do, because I don't think that they're playing the best, certainly offensively, and they haven't got Odell Beckham Jr. back into the fold as of yet. They're running the football good. The defense is having, some breakdowns here and there, but I think they're trending upward. Don't judge the greatness of a team by how they start the season. Judge them by the way that they're trending and how they finish. And Cleveland looks like, to me, if they stay healthy, they're going to be around Thanksgiving at that peak where you ride that crest into the postseason. I like where they're going, but they still going to have to navigate through Buffalo and the Chargers.
I mean, that's if they even get that far. And I don't think the story of that game, was Baker Mayfield. It's Justin Herbert, man. He was incredible. His sophomore season in the league, and he is killing it. 47 points against a very tough Cleveland Brown defense. What an unbelievable game.
It was.
But here is the team that I'm telling you, take all personal feelings out because they're the hot topic. You either love them or hate them. I got to say it. How about them Cowboys? Dallas winning consistently, putting up 35 to 40 points consistently. Dak Prescott playing out of his mind. I think they're the clear favorites, even over Arizona, in the NFC. But we're only in the first quarter.
Have you lost your wretched mind?
No, I have not. The Cowboys are just that good.
Yeah, they're good enough to be a number 1 seed and good enough to be clipped in the first round as per normal. Look, let me be the first to say that I think the best receiver in the game right now is CeeDee Lamb. You can do a lot worse than him. I believe the best running back on that team, believe it or not, is not Ezekiel Elliott. Have you seen Tony Elliott put his foot in the ground and just explode through holes, which is something that Zeke doesn't do? Zeke's a bruiser, a punisher between the tackles, but he ain't that explosive playmaker anymore. That's your 4-minute drive back. Tony Pollard is your home run hitter. They got everything offensively. Their front seven looks good. Their defensive backfield, boy, Trayvon Diggs is a Venus flytrap back there leading the league.
And you've proven my point.
But it is October.
Okay, well, we're just talking about the first quarter.
And we've seen this before. Dallas, okay, if you want to make them number 1 right now, but how many paper champs have we seen wearing the star on their helmet in October? And to me, they're trending in that same direction because their division stinks.
Well, their division stinks, but we can't put that all on the Cowboys because you can only play who they put in front of you. Now, before we get to our next segment where we talk to our genius in residence, Corey, let's give them our top 5 so far throughout the league through the first quarter. Our top 5. Why don't you kick off?
All right, well, I'm going to go with a tie at 5 with the Buffalo Bills and the aforementioned Cowboys. I was ready to put, Buffalo up until, this past weekend, probably around, 3, 4, something like that. But I think they and Dallas are kind of in that unique place right now where they're both
clicking.
They're both in reasonably weak divisions. Their quarterbacks are playing extremely well. Their defenses are playing all of the charts. They got a big-time receiver, but will they have enough to sustain it down the stretch? At number 4, I'm taking A-Rod in the Packers.
Oh, you mean, what's number 3?
Number 3, the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
All right. And number 2, I like Tampa. Come on, man. I don't like guacamole. I'm about to buy my own avocado ice cream so I can do it like Dorian Gray. I'm sorry, Tom Brady. And then I like the LA Chargers at number 1 right now in October.
Wow, this guy's been copying off my paper again. Number 1, Baltimore with the incredible Lamar Jackson. As long as he's healthy, my money's on him. Number 2, Buffalo right behind him. So far, so good. We're kind of close. You left Baltimore out your top 5, though. Number 3 for me, Dallas Cowboys. Dallas, you got Dallas, but 1 and 2, I got them at 3. And at number 4, Arizona Cardinals. Number 5, Los Angeles Chargers. Boy, I wanted to sing that song, San Diego Superchargers.
You got Baltimore at number 1?
I absolutely do.
Prisoner.
With no apologies. And trust me, there's no love lost with me in Baltimore.
Of course not.
But
I admire your character, but your brain power this time has been stunted just a little bit.
I don't know, Lamar shocked me.
Yeah, he kept us up late last night on the East Coast, too.
Let's get him to our genius.
Anyway, the Sultan of the Sports Book is next, dropping knowledge like it's hot as we continue with the Sure Shot. Corey Parton is the Sultan of the Sports Book as he joins us here for this Sure Shot. Remember, listen to us and you'll win big, both in fantasy and on the sports book. And that's where we turn our attention to right now. And looking at the last week, we talked openly about the unders and the dogs. How did they play out on the big board last week?
We saw the revenge of the favorites come into play this week and also saw the overs start to cash this week. Now, it could be a 1 week thing. It could be a one-time thing. Interesting to see how the board shakes out next week. But first of all, let's start with that game in London. Games in London tend to go over the number. For some odd reason, when the teams, the scoring opens up when they go across the pond. The Washington football team is going to give you an over every week because they cannot stop nobody. It's just the false bill of goods we were sold on that defense is pretty pitiful. So you did see the favorites come back this week. You saw the over start to hit as well. Very good week for the public. But listen, we're not going to cry about the bookmakers because trust me, when we had the first good week for the public in week 5, so they got pretty heavy pockets already.
And I think we're starting to get a look at teams you just don't trust. Stay away from them probably. And Washington happens to be one of them. When looking at Washington, are they a play, as you said, over just about every week on the money line? And if they're ever listed as a favorite, what's the number that
No. Don't ever bet them as a favorite unless they're playing like the Falcons, the Jets, something like that. Do not ever bet them as a favorite. I don't ever want to lay points with the football team. What I'm doing, and I'm literally doing this every week, Mark, because I'm betting the over. And you can hit the over in their games because they play terrible defense. They don't stop nobody. It's like the market has not yet adjusted. I believe this week that point total was 43 versus the Saints. And the Saints are a team, they're not the Drew Brees Saints. This version of the Saints, they want to slow you down. They want to run the football. They don't really have the weapons on the outside to really blow the game open. You come out first quarter, sing the national anthem, boom, Jameis Winston right down the field for a touchdown. And I'm like, this part of the Saints offense has been missing since week 1, but they come to D.C. and welcome us right back. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it is you can bet the over comfortably every week when it comes to the football team, unless they're playing a team that cannot score the football, which is really very few at this point. Like the Miami Dolphins. If they was to play the Dolphins, you may want to play the under then. But other than that, you're playing. As a matter of fact, the Dolphins are an over team. That's because their totals are always low. But yeah, the overs for the football team have been cashing pretty significantly every week.
And the two things that you notice about those two teams are both of them starting backup quarterbacks right now. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be a trend that is developing. All right, you got 4 teams who are really distinguishing themselves right now at the quarter pole mark of the season. Buffalo, Arizona, Dallas, and the LA Chargers. How do you look at them in terms of bets right now? Are they favorites that you roll with comfortably? Do you take overs with them because they've got probably the best 4 quarterbacks who are playing in a groove right now, so to speak, or do you remain cautious with them?
Well, let's start with Dallas. And let's say Dallas, you want to play the over because the Cowboys are going to try to push the game into the 30s. And I've been very critical of this coaching staff in the past. They are actually doing a very good job. They're pacing the football game well. They're using Zeke to pace the game. And they know that if they need to go and get a big play and need to score, Dak can take them down the field and do that. And then they're creating turnovers. Teams that create turnovers also have a good shot at going over because you get short fields and whatnot. So the Cowboys are a big overplay. Be careful laying points with the Cowboys because they're America's team. So they're going to be heavily bet at the window, especially if they're playing well. When it comes to the Cardinals, it's crazy, but it's almost quite opposite. You want to play the under with the Cardinals, especially when they play against their NFC West rivals. People look at the NFC West as this division with its high-flying offenses. The under's cash, and that's because there's a perception that the over cashes, so the overs are heavily bet. It pushes the numbers up, and the unders are cashing like 57% of the time in the NFC West. But the Buffalo Bills look real tough right now, and they can be an ATS monster this year. I mean, you can lay points with them. That's the way I would do it. They're actually playing very good defense, which surprisingly, the Buffalo Bills right now at plus 250 to win the AFC is probably a very good bet. Nobody's playing better football in the American Football Conference, or probably in the league, I would say, than Buffalo right now. But that Charger team, listen, that was a real big win against the Browns. And I think they was going to get that win. They hung in there and they fought. And, man, you see what Justin Herbert has become. He's a legit MVP candidate. They're doing a great job. Brandon Staley are getting that team in good spots. Look, you know, Mike Williams would look to be a bust for the first part of his career. He looked at the player he was supposed to be. Austin Eckler, who's a fantasy stud, has been playing excellent. The Chargers are going to be there for the long haul. I would also put a little bit of cash on the Chargers to actually win the AFC West. They may be the best team in that conference. And you might want to put a sprinkle on them to actually win the AFC. I think this Chargers team is legit. Interesting to see what they do against Baltimore because Baltimore's another team. Say what you want about Baltimore. They seem to win every single week, and Lamar Jackson figures out a way to get them across the finish line. Jackson also a very strong MVP candidate.
Point well taken. And
along with Josh Allen.
This is the fantasy executive and our sultan of the sports book. He is Corey Parson from NBC Sports Edge. What else you got going down for real, my friend?
Getting ready to come up. We got our basketball preview show coming up later this week, so you better check it out on NBC Sports Edge, and obviously continuing to grind out throughout the course of the football season. And you know what? College basketball is right around the corner, and the bowl season is coming too. So we are in the storm of sports, and we're going to try to get you paid.
Oh, this is great. We love this. Anyway, it's the most wonderful time of the year for real. Corey Parson dropping the knowledge on us like it's hot here on Sure Shot. Thanks a lot, CP. Holla back next week.
My man.
All right, let's get to this week's picks. It's a very entertaining weekend of NFL action. And if you're savvy, there's some games to be played that you must watch. So
You want to kick off or you want me to kick off?
You kick off.
I'm kicking off. All right, guys. And remember, like we said, please check the comments so we can keep you updated on injuries from our picks. But my first pick, Kansas City's -6.5 at Washington. The Chiefs are coming off a beatdown by the Buffalo Bills at home, one of my top 5 teams. And they head to Washington where defense is only a rumor. 6.5 points won't be enough for Washington, as this one will not be close. Take the Chiefs and lay the points.
Wow. I don't know about the points because there's something funky with that offense, and maybe Chiefs defense is a stimulus package
Nothing
for
that Washington won't solve.
Yeah, well, that's true, man. Taylor Heineke is just awful, absolutely awful. All right, I'm going to go with my fave. I'm going to take Tampa Bay at -6.5 where they open up over Philadelphia in Philly. That's right. I can't trust the Eagles' offense right now, and the way Tom Brady is playing, I like, not only do I like Tampa on the road as a favorite, I like them to cover to win that game by a touchdown, maybe 10 points.
I wouldn't do that. Philly fan, remember, send Mark Gray those emails. Let me get the
And a cheesesteak, not with cheese whiz.
If they send you a cheesesteak, I wouldn't eat it. Anyway, game 2, Arizona -2 at Cleveland. Wow, what a game this will be after we saw Cleveland at L.A. Now, Arizona comes to Cleveland after the shootout between Arizona and L.A. last week. The NFL is treating us to another dream matchup that promises to be high-scoring and highly entertaining. Cleveland came out on the short end of the stick out there in L.A. But guess what, Browns fans? They're going to lose again. Arizona is going to come to Cleveland, and they're going to cover that too, and they are going to beat the Browns at home. I'm sorry, Cleveland, but you're dropping back to the middle of the pack. Still think you're a great team with a great defense, but not quite good enough to beat those Cardinals.
Well, I have the Cardinals to win outright, and I think that if you really want to parlay it, you take them at the -3.5 that I got. I like Arizona.
-3?
They open up on a Vegas Insider across the board with all the books at 3.5.
So money must have went on Cleveland then, and then the number changed a bit.
Yeah, it did change
Again,
a
stay
bit.
with us in the comments.
And it is at home for the Browns. So I do like that, but I just think that Arizona has the better Oklahoma quarterback in Kyler Murray right now.
You know what? I didn't even think of that.
I think that their defense, I think that the Arizona Cardinals are now a team that's built to win on the road. They run the football well. They play good defense. You got a quarterback who does the same things. He's got Lamar Jackson skills. I'm rolling with the Cardinals.
Jackson-esque. Yes, sir. All right, so that's your game 2. My game 3, Vegas at Denver. Wow. Vegas, meaning the Vegas line and odds makers, they know it all. Last week, Vegas, a 3-1 team, was only a 5-point favorite at home against a 1-3 Chicago Bears team that was starting a rookie quarterback, and you wonder what was going on. Well, they knew this ticking time bomb was about to explode. Now we got Vegas going to Denver, and they're only getting 3 points. No way is that enough for me. I'm taking the Broncos at home, coming off a tough loss in Pittsburgh, in which they staged a valiant comeback. But I don't think that Vegas is going to be mentally or emotionally or physically ready to play football with this midweek bombshell with their head coach being gone.
Yeah.
Take Denver.
Something about the special teams coach taking over in the middle, and he's never been a head coach at any level that would lead me to believe.
Remember that happened to your Washington team?
Stay away from the Raiders. But you never know. They may man up and be resilient. My next pick, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. 4.5-point favorite going to Chicago. Look, difference in this game simply. A-Rod's proven that he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields still getting his feet wet as a starter. Mm-hmm. He's going to play. He's going to ball, 12, 18 months. We may be putting him in the rarefied air of one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Not this weekend.
What's the spread on that again?
I've Green Bay at 4.5 to cover.
Okay.
I'm taking that at Chicago.
Okay.
4.5. I love that spread.
Okay.
I like
Green
Bay a lot.
I like it.
And I think that they travel well and they own Chicago. I like Green Bay.
I like that one. Okay, I might have to rock with you on that one, but let me get you to my sure shot. Let's go to Monday night where the aforementioned Buffalo Bills -5.5 travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Bills are rolling with only one loss this season to the Steelers. Go figure that. But take the Bills to roll into Nashville and roll out with a W. I will lay that 5.5. Buffalo's a high-scoring team. Tennessee won't be able to keep up.
I don't think so either, especially with, Tannehill banged up just a little something. My sure shot pick comes from the NFC, and I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams. Mm-hmm. I get them at 6.5 to cover outright at the New York Giants.
Oh, yes.
This is Sean McVay kind of going home. Mm-hmm. The Giants are not probably going to have Daniel Jones nor Saquon Barkley. It's a recipe for a blowout. Look at the over-under, and
50.
It's 50. I'd take the under there if I could get a.
But wait a minute, Mark. Breaking news, buddy. You were right. That opened at 6.5, but all the money went on the Rams, and it is now 10.5. Do you still want it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say,
do.
yeah. I take it too, right?
I do. I almost like it even more right now, man.
Yeah.
To me, there's.
And is Saquon Barkley going to play?
I probably not. Did you see that grapefruit on the side of his ankle?
Yeah, and even if he did play, how effective would he be? So, hey, I like the pick.
So that's where we are. Those are your sure shots for entertainment purposes only, boys and girls. So remember, if you need help with your gambling issues, 1-800-GAMBLER. And by all means, only risk what you can afford to lose. And stay away from the mortgage payments. Stay away from the college fund for the kids. Make sure, like Corey says,
What? Fun money. Yeah, Chinese food money. That's what he said.
Chinese food or sneaker money is probably the way to go.
Hey, one quick shout out before we go to Dre, the guru at the Sharper Image, one of our fans who watches every week. He wants to come on and do a guest pick. I told him we're going to do one from Zoom, via Zoom.
Okay.
But he was winning. He's winning on those tickets. So shout out to Dre at the Sharper Image, and we will get your guest pick on soon.
Yeah, that's right. We coming to social media near you, y'all. So just get those picks together and your request, and we'll be all over it in the next few weeks. That's Chad. I'm Mark. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch us next week and take your sure shot.